Last time, we saw how rising seas could engulf almost all land, wiping out most of humanity and transforming Earth into a planet of endless ocean. But what happens next? Can humans survive and even thrive in this watery world? Year 300. New societies on water. By 300 years after the initial flood, human survivors would have established floating and underwater communities. Floating cities, large barges, and even underwater habitats would become the new homes for humanity. Innovations in desalination, energy generation from waves and tides, and underwater agriculture would support these communities. Human adaptations continue. Some groups may begin evolving more marine-like traits, similar to the Bajau people's enhanced diving abilities. Eyes adapted for underwater vision, increased lung capacity, and improved resistance to cold and pressure could become common. However, these adaptations would still take many generations. Challenges of a waterworld society. Despite new technologies, life would remain harsh. Freshwater scarcity would be a constant battle. Food supplies would depend heavily on algae farms and ocean fishing. Diseases, mental health struggles, and social conflicts would persist. Natural disasters like massive storms would threaten floating settlements regularly. Environmental changes in marine life. The oceans themselves would continue evolving. Acidification may stabilize as carbon cycles adjust. New marine ecosystems would develop around human structures. Some species extinct on land might find new niches in water. Year 1000 and beyond. A new human era? Thousands of years later, humanity may have fully embraced ocean life. They might develop advanced underwater technology, self-sustaining cities, underwater vehicles, and energy harvesting systems. Culture, language, and society would adapt to the aquatic environment, perhaps resembling a completely new branch of human civilization. Could humans return to land? If sea levels eventually recede, due to natural climate cycles or technological climate control, some descendants might reclaim land, or even terraform other planets with ocean worlds. But for now, survival depends on mastering life at sea. Final thoughts. Discovery 2.0. Earth becoming a waterworld is a terrifying possibility, but also a fascinating glimpse into human resilience and adaptability. We may not live to see this future, but understanding it helps us appreciate the delicate balance between land, sea, and life itself. Thanks for watching Discovery 2.0. If you liked this deep dive into entire cities swallowed by the sea. This isn't fiction, this could be reality. Earth turning into a real-life waterworld. Can humans survive underwater? Or is this the end of life as we know it? Our planet is already 70% ocean, but that remaining 30% land is the difference between survival and extinction. If the Earth were suddenly fully submerged, humanity's chances would be slim. Day 1. The beginning of disaster. Everything starts here. Scorching heat waves, raging wildfires, and violent storms hit the planet all at once. The ice on Earth melts rapidly. Currently, about 10% of the Earth's land is covered in ice. During the last ice age, it was 32%. Even if all today's ice melted, sea levels would rise by around 70 meters, 230 feet. That's enough to flood coastal cities worldwide. New York, Miami, Tokyo, Vancouver, London, Paris, Venice, all would be underwater. Countries like the Netherlands, Maldives, Fiji, and the Bahamas would disappear entirely. Governments would try evacuating people inland, but with such rapid flooding, it would be nearly impossible. Even the richest nations would struggle to build artificial islands to relocate their citizens safely. Within days, 1/3 of the world's population would be lost. Day 2. Global chaos. After the initial flooding, society collapses. Survivors fight over food, shelter, medicine, and fuel. Roads clog as people try to flee, communication networks fail, and darkness falls. This is just the beginning of the nightmare. Viewer questions. Discovery 2.0 answers. Q. Would Wi-Fi work if the Earth was all water? Wi-Fi signals are radio waves, which don't travel well through water, especially saltwater. So, underwater streaming wouldn't be possible. Since most internet infrastructure would be underwater or destroyed, we'd rely on satellites and floating servers to stay connected. Q. Would all the flooding erase my personal data online? No, flooding won't erase your data. But services like Delete Me can help remove your personal information from hundreds of data broker sites that sell your info. Day 5. Underwater volcanoes awaken. Over 1 million underwater volcanoes lie beneath the oceans. The heatwave could trigger simultaneous eruptions, causing massive earthquakes around the world. These eruptions would release not just magma, but also vast amounts of water trapped deep inside Earth's mantle, possibly twice the volume of all surface oceans combined. This would cause sea levels to rise even further. Giant tsunamis would race across continents at up to 30 miles per hour, 50 km per hour. Evacuation would be impossible, and millions could be killed before reaching safety. Day 7. Only mountain peaks remain. At a sea level rise of 3.3 kilometers, 2 miles, every continent would be submerged except the tallest mountain peaks. Earth would truly become a global ocean. Day 30. Martial law and new societies. Survivors would gather on mountaintops and remaining high ground. Governments might declare martial law to try and restore order. Plans to build underwater living habitats would begin, but such projects would take decades. All forests, grasslands, and deserts would vanish. Plants rooted in soil would die, followed by land animals. Many would drown in the floods, and disrupted food chains would cause mass extinctions. Ocean life wouldn't be safe either. Increased carbon dioxide would make oceans more acidic, killing coral reefs, shellfish, and eventually threatening large marine animals.